So I know I posted on the post tab earlier today, Pacers in 7. And I was confident about it, actually. I was like, you know what? Like, yo, man, shout out to Harrison. All right, shout out to Harrison. Because I saw him today at work. I was up in the 7th grade wing, and he was coming the other direction. He looked defeated, man. He was like, it's over. And I was like, dude, you can't have that mindset. You got to be positive. And I think I got a little more positive, you know what I'm saying? And he was a little more optimistic after I talked to him. But after seeing Tyrese Haliburton has a calf strain and they're going to be doing an MRI, I like our team, boys, but I don't know if we're good enough to beat OKC without Haliburton. Yeah, I understand Haliburton hasn't been crazy this series, you know what I'm saying? He did have the game winner in game 1. But Haliburton provides a level of shot making that this team needs, and even if his bag is very basic and it's not anything crazy, he does provide shot making. He collapses the defense. Just having his gravity as a player on the court matters. And if we're not going to have that, that's a real problem. I hate to say it, boys, but I think they're going to close it out in Indy. I do. If we don't have Haliburton, I'm not so sure we can win. And that doesn't mean I think TJ McConnell's bad. That's not what I'm saying. I think TJ McConnell would do a phenomenal job as the starter. It's just that bench unit, you know, you're asking Quentin Jackson, right, to come in and take over the reins of the bench unit in Game 6 of the NBA Finals in a do-or-die game, right? That's a lot of pressure for a third stringer, man. You know, a guy who doesn't see a lot of burn to be asked to suit up when the lights are brightest, considering most of these guys don't get any burn in the playoffs. It's a tall order. Or Ray J. Dennis or whoever gets the fucking start for the bench unit. That is a very, very big ask. And I'm not saying it's not possible. All right, anything is possible. I tell people this all the time. When we lose games to bad teams, all right, the thing I tell everybody is that, yes, like, you might think we're not supposed to lose games to the Washington Wizards, but at the end of the day, they're still a professional team, okay? Every player on that team is a professional. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not looking good, is what I'm saying. Miles, I hate to always be on Miles' ass, man, but it's just the idea. Miles, you know, for some of the OGs of the channel, you'll know that like 2 or 3 years ago, I was Miles Turner's biggest hater. And I think I still am in some instances. I think people think I'm way meaner to him than I really am. Years ago, I was fucking brutal to Miles Turner. Like, every time I turned the camera on, it was like, Miles Turner sucks. But Miles Turner has not been good in this series. And if you think he has been, then I got some news for you. Okay? He hasn't been. Yeah, he did have a good sequence in one game, like a block, I think back-to-back blocks and something like that. And I think he made a 3 or something like that. Like, yeah, he did have some good moments. I'm not saying he's been bad like the whole time, but he did have some good moments. But good moments don't make up for a stretch of bad play. And I know the Pacers traded some draft picks today with the Pelicans. I think they traded the 23rd pick in this year's draft and another pick in the future for a 2026 first-round pick from the Pelicans that we actually traded them a while ago. We're getting that pick back. So I don't know really what the Pacers are doing, but I will say this, okay? We've made the NBA Finals. This team has made it further than I think many of us really imagined. I think a lot of us, including myself, expected us to be a second-round exit. But we made the fucking finals. And while we all want to win it, right? I'd love us to win it. I just don't think we're going to at this point. But now the front office has a job. They need to fix our rebounding. We need to get better at defense. We need to clean up the slop, essentially. That's the problem with our team. We know how good we are, right? Like, I think Pacers fans are the only ones who understand how good and how deep the Pacers roster is. The thing is now they really need to smooth out the corners. If we're going to make a run at this again, and I'm not, obviously, like, we could win Game 6 and win Game 7 and still win, but the front office still has things about this team that need to be smoothened out. I don't care who you are, okay? You don't have to like rebounding as a stat. You don't have to like defense, okay? You can think they don't matter, and for the most part, they don't. You know, for the most part, rebounding and defense really doesn't matter. But when you start getting into the dog days of the NBA playoffs, when you're in the NBA finals, rebounding matters. Second chance points matter. Taking care of the basketball matters. Okay? Playing defense, being able to lock motherfuckers down matters. And yeah, you don't have to do that all regular season. You don't have to. There are guys that take pride in it, and there's guys that are good at it. Andrew Nembhard is one of them. Aaron Nesmith is another one. Tyrese Haliburton shown improvement on defense. But the fact of the matter is, like, you really, really got to batten down the hatches once you get into the NBA playoffs. You just have to. So, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, but unfortunately, my confidence is gone. Unfortunately, my confidence in us to win this is like maybe at like 20%. You know, until some serious improvements to this roster are made, as far as getting bigger size-wise, getting better at defense, rebounding specifically, I feel like we could use another decent defender. Not, you know, it doesn't have to be fucking Drew Holiday, but like, you know, getting another solid guy on defense would be a nice addition. It just, this team really needs a little bit of size. You know, it's not desperately needing size, but it does need some size. And Miles Turner, as much as I love him, I just don't know how much he actually fits the bill for what we need. You know, watching Chet Holmgren fucking kind of use him like a rag doll a lot of this series should wake a lot of people up. You know what I'm saying? There was what was it, last game? Chet Holmgren had a 14 and 15. Chet Holmgren is a, second, third year player? And this is why I've been telling people that, like, getting rid of Miles Turner is not the end of the world. You know, I understand that Miles Turner is an indie guy. I understand he's down for the team. I understand fans love him to death. He's easily, I think, the biggest pacer in Indiana. But there's a reason why I've been saying for years that drafting a center is not the end of the world. There's a reason why I've been saying that. And it's because Miles Turner, as good as he is, there are guys on their second, third year in the league that I just think provide more of what this team actually needs compared to what Miles Turner provides. We obviously saw in these playoffs that rebounding is a big issue, and Miles Turner has not been good at rebounding this entire series. I hate to break it to you, but he just hasn't been. Yeah, the ability to shoot the three-point shot is a nice luxury to have, but if you don't have like a Giannis Antetokounmpo level guy down there at the power forward position to just be fucking a menace on the boards, unfortunately, Miles Turner, it hurts. You know, having Miles Turner in some instances like that hurts more than it helps. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what the front office is going to do. I'm assuming there's some moves that will be made, especially if we lose. I do think the front office is going to try to pony up and make the roster even better because the league sees what we're capable of now. And our schedule next year is going to be tougher too. Just a heads up, because we're the second best team in the league now, essentially, because we made the NBA Finals. So we're going to have the second toughest schedule in the league next year, most likely, or one of the toughest league schedules in the league next year. But I just want you guys to understand that you should cherish this. All right, if I'm going to go out on anything, just understand we're going to be getting our 30 for 30, boys. I just want you to know that. If we don't get a chip out of this, at least we get a 30 for 30. All right, on the 2024-2025 Indiana Pacers, on how they started off 10 and 15 and, you know, ended up making the NBA Finals as the 4th seed, with your point guard being rated as the most overrated player in the league that year by a wide margin. So I have a feeling we're going to be getting our 30 for 30. But for right now, you know, it was cool to see the front office make a move today. It gives me something to talk about, but Game 5 was just bad. All right, Game 5 was bad. There was too many turnovers, too many second chance points, not enough defense. I get OKC is a good team, but we need to put up a better fight than we have been. And the front office realizes that. I think the fans realize that. And even the players realize it. But, you know, stupid turnovers, man. You know, the problem with... The funny thing is about Oklahoma, we commit all these turnovers and they never score points on them. You know, but the problem is still committing turnovers and giving them free baskets or a free possession ends up being costly. So... Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like, helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.